Well, John, welcome back. I know I'm not going to dwell on this, but I know you have a bit of an equine background, and so do I. So I've got my English writing jacket on today.
Yeah, I noticed that. Very cool.
Still
I like it.
cold up here in the great Northwest, but people want to hear what we have to say on this continuing crypto conspiracy series, so I'm going to get right to it. You know, there is always a good thing when you're doing investigations to get as much evidence as possible, especially when you get outside from a trusted source. Now, the source I'm going to cite is Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. Now, of course, he is quite controversial, but I don't think there's anyone out in the listening audience that wouldn't say if someone could smell a rat, it would be Mr. Belfort. He took to task, and I didn't know this until you pointed it out to me, so thanks again, about interviewing this guy, one of the originators on Tether. So before we play the video and then comment after about it, give us a brief background of how Tether fits into Bitcoin and why it's so important.
Well, there's a lot of videos on Tether and Evergrande and Bitcoin, and I highly recommend that people go on YouTube and just do a search, type in Tether, Evergrande. There's some great videos out there. My favorite is with a YouTube channel called CoffeeZilla, CoffeeZilla. CoffeeZilla has done some great work on this, and there's a couple others out there also. This caught my attention because, I mean, I'm just gonna, my view on Tether. Tether is literally the re-centralized digital fiat Federal Reserve. These guys print money far more and far better than Powell. Powell looks like a elementary school child with a printer compared to Tether. These guys print and have paper, and they have, they do fiat better than anybody. These guys are the best, and here's the best part. They're unaudited and based in Hong Kong. So unaudited, Hong Kong, controlled by China. That right there, if that doesn't send red flags up you, then, stick with silver, physical silver and gold. But
now, let me stop you there, because this is a point that you said that's so important. But I just want to make it I really want to reiterate. I want to pound on this. What you've said, if I heard you right, is that without this Tether fiat system, there is no Bitcoin. And yet Bitcoin is trying to get you away from fiat. So isn't this an oxymoron? Bitcoin needs fiat. Without fiat, no Bitcoin. Or did I miss something?
No, that's absolutely correct. And it's by design. It's by design. And a lot of things happened at Tether that Jordan Belfort, if he sees this video, I love Jordan Belfort. When I saw the video, I thought, my goodness, there's nobody better than to assess and look at something like this than anybody. And he's unfiltered. He holds nothing back. That video, everyone needs to, research Tether Jordan Belfort. You got to look at it. It's just the guy. He's a prophet. I disagree with him a couple points, but for the most part, when it comes to Tether, he just flat out says Tether is a scam, and they did a lot of bad things that they can't hide. And he understood right away what was going on there, and he had some serious words on there that were just.
Yeah. Well, let me interject again, Sean. We're showing that video, so we're going to clip that into this. So we're going to watch. Now we're going to watch that video and let people see it's very short, very succinct, very precise, and as far as I'm concerned, very accurate. So what's really going on in Tether. And this was way before the Tether Evergrande connection that John mentioned here at the beginning.
Yes, and you listen to Jim Cramer. We'll get that piece in there also. You listen to Jim Cramer, and then you listen to Jordan Belfort. What, love him or hate him, you take the data that they put out there and you look at it, and you have to you have to draw a conclusion. Period. Serious, and you'll draw your own conclusion. People see it. This is like right out in broad daylight.
Now that I've watched the video,
so would you characterize Tether as something that would be, I don't know, a fecal coin?
No, very different. I think Tether, unfortunately, probably in its early days, they probably did some things they probably greatly regret. And they're probably running, I would guess at this point, they're probably running a very clean operation, I would think. But unfortunately, the things that you did when you were just getting started in the early days, they're all on paper. And when they do an investigation, they go all the way back and they use a statute called continued fraud. So there is no statute of limitations. So they can go all the way back as far as they want. And, you know, they can go back to the very beginning, in fact. And if there was Tether that was created when it should have been created, that's a huge problem. I don't think it's a shitcoin Tether. I think it's probably pretty close, but I would doubt that they're still doing the things they did when they were just getting started.
So if perchance, I mean, this is, of course, they deny, you know, we have to say this, they deny they did anything wrong.
Right.
They say,
Yeah.
you know, they said they've made accidents here and there, but it wasn't intentional. But let's suppose that the Department of Justice finds something wrong and whatever. How do they get out of this?
I don't think they do. I think that I think it's a huge issue. I think that, and again, you know, you don't know. Who really knows? You know, the Department of Justice has a broad latitude of how they deal with these things. But I think would really give Tether a very serious black eye. And I would be very surprised if it didn't, at some point, maybe cease to exist, because there's other solutions besides Tether that don't have that sort of baggage.
Last week, we talked to SEC Chairman Gary Gensler about Tether and what they own, and he said he was concerned. He should be concerned. Tether said they have no Evergrande exposure. Thank you. But tons of Chinese businesses stand to get crushed by this fiasco, and they have Evergrande exposure, and that could spell real trouble if the dominoes fall here. Let me put it this way. In 2008, a Lehman Brothers money market fund collapsed, which acted as an accelerant for the financial crisis. Could the same thing again happen with Tether? Just say I'm concerned, okay? Why should you care about Tether if you own some other cryptocurrency? Simple. Do you have any idea how much Bitcoin and Ethereum are purchased with Tether? It makes up a huge chunk of all transactions. Tether's like a $60 billion company. If Tether collapses, well, then it's going to gut the whole crypto ecosystem. So if you own crypto in any form and you've got big gains, I recommend taking something off the table. Now, I know there are lots of younger people who love this stuff. They own slivers of it and Robinhood. I wouldn't be surprised at all if crypto eventually goes mainstream. But right now, owning crypto is what's known as a crowded trade. And I don't want you to lose money if the space keeps getting hit by Evergrande's contagion worries. Make no mistake, unlike American banks, these cryptocurrencies could truly be vulnerable here thanks to that Tether connection. Take Tether out, and it wouldn't be, by the way. If the Chinese Communist Party liked crypto, that would be one thing. But they've spent this year trying to stamp out everything crypto-connected in China. And they don't seem to have much interest in stopping this problem at the source by bailing out Evergrande, or at least they don't want to bail out the shareholders and the creditors. I know the crypto lovers never want to hear me say sell, but if you got a big gain as I did, well, I'm begging you to. Don't let it become a loss. Sell some, stay long the rest. Then let's wait and see if China changes its attitude towards an Evergrande bailout.
Now that I've watched the video again, I just want you to go ahead and summarize. I'm going to just take a back seat. You take the lead. What the heck so what's your conclusion on this video with Jordan Belfort?
Well, Jordan, he nails it. But, you know, this is a guy who, you know, I mean, look, this is a guy who has experience enough in the industry and digging to know what to look for. And he did his homework on this. And honestly, that video is just it's shocking. It's jaw-dropping. Very few people have seen it. But you watch that video, it's like, wait a second here. Wait a second. You're telling me that this is the founder of Tether that is unaudited, based in Hong Kong, and the founder there, I think his name was Brock Pierce, has a direct, you look at the network map, he has a direct line, direct to, I believe, MIT or Epstein. Okay, so here we go down the conspiracy hole again, and we've got another red flag over here. Tether, I just doing some reading on it last night, 65% of all the Tether coming out of Tether, we're not talking about US dollars, we're talking about Tether. I don't know how these guys can print. Their market cap is bigger than Bitcoin. How's that can be? This is backed by $1. Well, now the rumor is, I can't confirm it, it's a rumor, fallacy, conspiracy, fairyland, that there's a possibility, and Kramer, he takes them off the table here. There could be some rumors that some of the paper backing Tether may be unconfirmed. 20 to 30% of the bonds that back Tether are Evergrande paper, which in my opinion, Evergrande is done. They're cooked. So Jordan was ahead of the game on this one, way ahead of the game. And he's a fantastic interviewer. I love his style. He holds nothing back. You can learn a lot from Jordan. But yeah, that video, I highly recommend it. But Jordan nails it here. And the Tether game here, once again, if going back, let's talk about the executive order. Let's talk about Epstein, Harvard, MTI. If this executive order has the teeth it has, and if this conspiracy leads down that road, where does that put Tether that was founded here in the States? Does that mean that's a U.S. asset? I mean, is the U.S. Treasury going to come in and say, Vegas, these are my chips. These are my chips. This money came from the Federal Reserve that was printed, that was funneled into Bitcoin by these people promoting it. And this belongs to the people. This is tax money belonging to the people that was somehow people got led down this road. It's not gold, So you look at that, you say, wait a second, what if Tether, being based in Hong Kong, offshore, but it doesn't matter, that executive order went around that. What if Tether, Bitcoin, what if it's all connected together and all falls under that umbrella of a national emergency, not just an executive order, a national emergency? And this may explain why these things are still operating. Why? Because it's, as Jordan said, there's a big paper trail and you can't hide it. He was really clear. You're not going to be able to hide this. It's a big paper trail. And he really made a point to that I never even thought of. And he said, and all the YouTube promoters out there that are promoting Bitcoin, there's a trail going back to them too. Because we don't know who, that's interesting. We don't know who's paying them. We don't know if they're getting paid in Bitcoin to do this. Why would, to me, my thought would be, well, I started, for me at $9,000 Bitcoin, when I saw that the last post by Ghislaine possibly may have been about $1 billion trade at $9,000 Bitcoin, that's when I thought, wait a second here. I can't be working with Bitcoin. I mean, come on. It's like $1 billion at 9,000, but it's gotta be $5 billion in profit right there. So she's not gonna be pulling. Imagine where she's been, arrested by the FBI and in custody, and say, okay, open up your computer. 50 guys behind you, and all these screens in a room of military cyber intelligence and artificial, and probably 50 screens, 100 screens going, all intel people going, and we got to put together this map. That's how I see it. To me, this is an ongoing sting operation, ongoing sting. And what is the one thing we know about sting operations? The basic premise of a sting operation is the fact that it operates and the perpetrators don't know what's happening, and the executive order said, we're not going to tell you. That to me, if you're a risk management, this has got to be on your radar. If you're an investor, you're running a fund, a lot of money, and your guys are out there flipping this stuff, and they're supposed to be risk managers and didn't bring this to the boss, to the head honcho there who's running the fund, then they should be fired. Period. They should be gone. This is just really serious shit. And Belfort really nailed that one. Everyone needs to see the videos by Belfort regarding Tether.
John, thank you so much. Go through the holidays. I'm sure we'll have a few more. I think it's probably the most important work that I'm doing presently, because it seems as if, my opinion, that this crypto hit the tipping point. As I said in the paid edition of the Morgan Report early on, Wall Street has caught on to Bitcoin. Watch out, because if Wall Street gets behind something, it's gonna go. The one part that we've already discussed briefly is that Wall Street is very good on both sides of any trade.
Yes.
Meaning they can pump and pump and pump and pump. And once they have a vehicle that they can get the insiders and blame the regulators, they can dump and dump and dump and dump.
And short at the same time.
So that ability exists. It's my opinion. I'm not giving you financial advice. Buyer beware. John, back to you. You'd like to close us out?
Well, I would say this, there's a lot of information out here. It's worth the time if you're, for me personally, it's a moral, amoral, immoral decision on working in this space. For me personally, I can't work in this. I just simply can't. I still consult with a few private funds. I still work with some families that I've been with for years, and yeah, I had to come say, look, I got bad news. This is what I see here. This is what's coming out. So this is my opinion personally. No, no. I said, there's no way. I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to. This is just, I don't recommend it at all. But what about crypto, John? But crypto's the future. I said, crypto is the future, but not all crypto is going to be in the future. The majority of crypto, I'm going to say, it's going to be probably 95 to 99% of all crypto is going to vanish in the blink of an eye. It'll be biblical. It will be biblical. It'll be, nighttime cometh when no man can work. That's biblical verse somewhere in the Bible or Old Testament. But what does that mean? The lights go out. It's nighttime, man. And you ain't withdrawing nothing. That's what I see happening. That's what I believe is going to happen. And that's, I believe it's going to happen. And it can happen when there'll be no notice. Now, let me fill that with this. Maybe after this week's trial, you might have some clues as to when that could be.
Well, it sounds like it could be a dark winter in a different way than most people have thought about it. So, John, happy holidays. We will continue. And
yeah, turkey time.
U.S. based or not, it's holiday season for all. And we want them to be happy. So if you're happy, take the profits before something dark happens. Be my guest.
Yeah, and by the way, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And I saw this morning, Treasury Secretary said, if you can't afford it, don't eat turkey. I'm like, wait a second. And then someone sent me an ad about a soy turkey meal. I'm just like, no. It's going to be turkey, real turkey. It's going to be real stuffing. It's going to be real butter, none of this fake stuff. It's going to be real cranberry sauce, and it's going to be real rum, real tequila, and real whiskey.
All right, John. Well, I can hardly wait to have you back. Take care now.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.